Hello, welcome everybody. I'm Suzy Woo, president of the NCGR Buffalo Cleveland chapter. Nice to see you today. Thank you for joining. Today we're going to talk about the current astrology. Today's April 17th. We're going to look at today's chart. We're going to look at Sunday's chart. And we're going to have a nice little conversation about basic astrology. So first I'm going to start by pulling up the chart for today. And here we go. So I've adjusted this chart to be a whole sign and natural houses versus Placidus house system. And here's today at 1 o'clock, so an hour from now. Now, I don't think I'm going to forget, but I definitely want to mention that the Schumann resonance has been off the hook, and the geomagnetic storms that we have been getting over the past 2 to 3 days has graduated into severe. These, excuse me, M class. If I double check, I posted it on my Facebook last night. Okay, Schumann 58, 49%. That's huge. And here it is, G4 KP8 geomagnetic storm severe. I got that update at 5 o'clock yesterday, and there's been minor, moderate, strong, and severe, like all in the past couple days. Have you been feeling it? Like, tell me what have been like your symptoms? Like, how have you been feeling, like in your body, in your thoughts, in your emotional temperament? How is this energy impacting you? I'm getting goosebumps. I keep on psychically seeing I just look up and there's something right in front of me to grab. Let me stop this share for a minute just to give you the, hold on, let me grab this. It's a selenite sphere, which I do have these. I just closed my retail crystal shop. I've got 4 of these if you're interested in purchasing one. But so psychically, clairvoyantly, I keep on seeing like a shape like this, so a white sphere, but it's similar to like an AI egg because it's not a chicken's egg, and that it splits in half and the lid opens. I keep on seeing that. Um, we are absolutely in changing times. Like, this is no secret, all right? Everyone's been talking about this, but all of the outer planets are changing signs in a short time. When just one outer planet changes signs, it impacts a generation. We've got all of the outer planets are changing signs in a tight span. All right. We are in unprecedented times. Okay. But, we don't want to be overwhelmed by too much at any one time. So you do have to break it down. And when you're working with people, you don't want to freak them out. And the last thing you want is to scare them. And so I like to explain what I see and what I feel in little bite-sized pieces to take the sting out, to take the fear out, and to hold your hand so we can walk through this together, because you're going to make it, right? No matter what, you're always going to be okay. And you need to know that. There's never going to be a time that you're not okay. When we transition, when we return to spirit, we're way okay. Like, I'm not encouraging anybody to like off themselves, but I'm just saying we've been raised in a culture that fears death, right? And it all ties together. You'll see in just a second. If you know anybody that is a death doula, or like I'm a psychic medium, and so, I'm sorry for bouncing around. I'm just adjusting here. Um, and people's loved ones, usually at the top, pretty close to the top of the list, want the deceased person wants their loved ones to know, like, don't mourn them. Like, I didn't mean it that way. Like, let them go. Like, let them get to where they need to get. Celebrate that you had them as a gift for as long as you had them, and then you release it. It's like, I'm so grateful that I had my favorite uncle for the years that I did. Like, I was brokenhearted. I was shredded when my uncle passed away, but we were like best friends. And so it was a big deal when he lost and when he passed away. And I was feeling, oh my God, how could anybody be smiling, going outside and seeing happy people? In my world, I was shattered. And how could anyone else be happy? Right? I was in a very different state of mind. I was still in my highly abusive marriage, and I was just not in a good way. But anyway, um, but now I have this understanding, since I've opened up uh that way, that it is a release of the container. So getting released from, it's like at the end of Aladdin, the original cartoon movie, the genie is freed from his lamp and he says he's going to Disneyland, but not having to be contained any longer and truly going into your freedom. Well, we are having a lot of energy around Pisces and Aries, and Pisces is the very last sign of the zodiac. So this in our lives translates to things coming to a natural end. Natural. You cannot stay on a roller coaster forever, right? You gotta eat, you have to excrete, you need to use the bathroom, you need human connection. Like, there's stuff that humans need. Our human condition requires certain things for us to have um balanced health and wellness. And when we are uh when that ride comes to an end, we can step off of the ride and then move on with our life. You can't stay on that ride forever. You have to welcome the fact that some things need to naturally come to a conclusion. Well, now that is like intense, because there's a lot of things that are kind of falling off or falling away. And depending on where the end of Pisces and the beginning of Aries falls in your chart, because each of the slices of the wheel represents an area of your life. Wherever that energy comes together, there are things that are coming to a natural close. Now, you can't welcome in wonderful new energy with open arms if you're still hanging on to everything in your life. Some stuff needs to be let go. Okay. How can you catch a ball if you're carrying stacks of suitcases or anything? To welcome, so this phrase came to me and I wrote it down and I've been using it quite a bit. You can't take a wounded past into a flourishing future. Okay, you can't take a wounded past into a flourishing future. How can you possibly expect all this wonderful stuff if you haven't processed the pains from your suffering, from your losses? Pisces, unfortunately, is losses. And so, whether people have passed away or how else are these things coming to a natural conclusion? It's time to get off the ride, cut your losses, process, and let yourself move forward. The best news about our current astrology, like right now, all the planets are direct. Yes, yes, it's huge. So this is now finally, even though two planets are still in shadow, we're not even going to go there. The fact is, everything is moving direct. All right. And so you have made it through some pretty turbulent crap. Um, illusion, delusion, people lying to you, deceiving you, not giving you the whole truth, the wires getting crossed in your communication, people being tacky and sticky and defensive and offended easily, and all this crap. Well, woo, you made it. Okay, we're through it. We're through the other side now. So that's a good thing. And now it's kind of like you can see again with new eyes. And you can pursue what it is that you love, which is love is Venus, of course, and with more clear-minded thinking, and that's going to be um, Mercury, which is direct, and so is Venus. Okay. Okay, now the things that have to come to a natural ending is because there is a whole new beginning. Uh, because that is the laws of the universe. Moving into something new, you gotta let some of the old stuff go, right? So it's like if you buy a brand new wardrobe and you've got limited closet space, you gotta get rid of some of the old stuff. Okay? Same thing. I think you get it. The Aries energy is all about new. Now it's also about identity. Now, the fact that Neptune is in Aries for a long time now, spiritually, where do you stand? You cannot abandon the spiritual facet of yourself, or you're going to end up overweight, drunk, and broke. All right, that's the shadow side of Neptune and Aries. Neptune is escapism. Aries is impulsive and sexual, and you're going to end up with STDs. But the high road of these are spiritual new beginnings, new faith, new belief, new it is the ability to try again. So even if it is like love life, romance, partnership, if you've been starved in that area of your chart, this can bring new love with staying power. Why? It's because Saturn is there. So let me come back and wait, there was something else I wanted to say. Circling back to the Schumann resonance and the geomagnetic activity that is very, very intense. So the ones we just had yesterday are going to land and you're going to feel it like on Earth, and you are here on Earth, in your physical body extensively. So this could be sleeplessness, but it could be all kinds of things: vertigo, joint pain, nausea, an a weird sense of calm. There's all kinds of ways that people experience the energies that our beautiful planet is going through. Speaking of our planet going through, where in our universe that the Earth is spinning is the closest to the galactic center that we've ever been in this launch of humanity. And so all of these things layered together means you are getting way more psychic, way more intuitive. You know stuff before it happens. That's precognition. Your dreams are profound. You're having past life recall. I think it's exciting. And then this Aquarius energy brings in the ETs, which you have ET energy in your own DNA. All of this wonderful stuff are unlocking the keys to wisdom, to past lives, but also to how the nature of our galaxy, the nature of our universe, how it all works together, and what is your role in it. Who are you? Who? I really want to know. Do you know? Do you know who you are? And most of us don't. Why? Because we were raised to be like our family. But then when we get into our 20s, especially when we start hitting our first Saturn return, 28, 29 years old, all of our friends, they're buying houses, marrying off, starting to pop off kids or whatever. And life shakes you by the collar and says, what are you going to do with your life? So if you have been being, whoop whoop at the bar and being negligent about being responsible, which is Saturn, then at 28, reality sets in. It kind of smacks you upside the head and says, what do you want to do with your life? And those who, wait a minute. And so that is the point that you can say, oh, This is what I want to do. And you create a plan. Saturn loves plans. The universe and retrograde planets might shake those plans up. But if you have no plan, then you can certainly plan to fail. You must have some clarity in your goals, in your dreams and aspirations. And that is what is being lit up now. It's a big time now to get clear on updated goals, dreams, and aspirations. How do you want the next 1 year of your life to unfold? The next 5 years, 7, 10 years, 14 years? Create a new updated vision board. We are on a new timeline. All right. Now, some of us are hopping. We're jumping around timelines. We're collapsing timelines, dissolving timelines. The ley lines on our planet, which are not a timeline, it's like a grid. Those are also upgrading. Old ones are dissolving away. And this is so exciting. This is why Queen E had to drop dead. She's freaking dark and evil. All right. So it's part of that whole evil empire needs to die. And so it's been. And that staunch Saturnian energy is falling. It's been falling for the past 3 years. And it will continue. And it's about, this is kind of like kind of cool, like when they detonate an old building, right? But this dragged on for a little bit longer. Well, this is where the rest of it implodes. And that is why everything's freaking out with our economy in America. I will not enter any conversations about politics. Those who feel and trust what they feel, that's all you need. You don't need media to tell you how to feel. Because what it's going to do, it's going to get you excited. It's going to feed your fear. It's going to make you want to get on a soapbox. It's going to make you want to go and have a fight in the playground. All right, that is divide and conquer. That's what's falling. That's what needs to go. Don't play into it. Like, turn that crap off. It's called programming for a reason. And Saturn is, the shadow side of Saturn is greed. And it is not emotional either. Now, Saturn's going to be moving into Aries, where Neptune currently is. So it's going to be very, very much about who are you? And this is where you have to plug in and do your own personal deep dive. What floats my boat? What do I love to do? And what's scary is a lot of us don't know. When we realize first around 30 years old, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be what my parents set me up to be. But maybe I'm afraid to speak up and say anything because I don't want to disappoint them. And that's how Gen X was raised, with baby boomers' parents, scarcity mindset, do as I say, not as I do, because look at the religious leaders too. There's a lot of corruption that has indoctrinated baby boomers, putting them in fear state, obey, right? Well, that doesn't work anymore because this new era of Aquarius that we're beginning to step into questions the narrative. It's awesome. Aquarius doesn't want to reinvent the wheel, but they want to improve on the system. Oh my God, what did you hand us? What were you thinking? Please tell me, how in the world is school still teaching that slaves built the pyramids? How is that still acceptable? It's because those damn textbooks are decades old. Okay, let's move on from that. This new era, which we're tippy-toeing through now with the personal planets, at least 2 of them, Mercury and Venus, They were in Aries and they both went backwards. Well, now they're both direct again. Mercury, planet of communication, is in Aries, and Venus is still in the late degrees of Pisces. Now, what I really love is if you've been doing the work, if you've been nose to the grindstone, if you've not been taking shortcuts, and it's sustained, Saturn gives you a reward. Let's bring that chart back up. Here we go. Here's today. All right, we've got, well, the first thing that jumps out to me is we've got Mars on a critical degree. So the last degree of any sign is called the anaretic degree, and it often will bring up crisis. Mars is the god of war. Anger, accidents, and it's in the sign of Cancer. So there could be family eruptions, emotional eruptions, kind of like a full moon energy. And what is making it more intense is Pluto, planet of intensity. But it's also divulge. It divulges, it exposes. And so I would expect today, tomorrow, it will probably be hitting the media, which personally I do not care about. But I know that there's not too many people that are like me. Anyway, Mars opposite Pluto. This is not new. This is the, let's see, third time, because it went direct, backwards, and direct again. The third time these guys are opposing one another, and these are the malefic planets considered to be. So Mars cuts, it rules surgery in the sign of Cancer. It hates going through Cancer, and I am Scorpio rising, and so that one of my rulers is Mars. And so Mars getting dragged in a sign that it hates it turns out the light when you're trying to move somewhere in the dark and you can't see what the hell's ahead of you. So fortunately, that is moving direct, and then Friday, it's going to be in Leo. Yes, I cannot wait. And I am a Leo, and I was born with Mars in Leo, so that means my Mars will be like revved up and ready to go, like sparkler and rocket fuel, actually. So this is going to be great for everybody, but even more great if you are ruled by Mars. So that's going to be Aries and Scorpio. And if you're a Cancer, because Mars has been dragging through your sign. And then Pluto's super, super slow moving, but it is and will stay in the sign of Aquarius for over the next decade. So that is an anchor, and it's creating a backdrop. All right. So that flavor, that's an air energy, by the way. Now, air and fire like each other because air can fan the flames. And let's sweep over here in the 12th house. Look at this family gathering here. The North Node is insatiable hunger, but it's also what we need to graduate in this lifetime, according to Woo, okay? That's how I phrase this. The North Node is something that you need to learn how to bring into your life, and then you balance or leverage your South Node, which is what you were very good at in another lifetime. And what are you here to do in this lifetime? You need to have both of them. You don't want to run away from your South Node, like a lot of people say. You have to abandon that. No, it's part of you. You don't want to abandon any parts of yourself. But it's learning to go the high road of that energy. Now, with the South Node going through Virgo, that is health. It is the wellness industry. It is healthcare workers. So on the bigger scale, the macro scale, that's what it's going to impact. And the old way of doing things will no longer work. Wow, look at the disclosures coming out, right? So you don't, You don't need me to say any more about that. And what we need for healing is faith. Pisces is faith. It is not tangible. It's keeping the faith. Well, so let's pick this apart a little deeper. We've got Venus forward in her exaltation, Pisces, right next to Saturn, the taskmaster. Right next, and Saturn is conjunct the North Node today. So over the next day or so, Venus is going to join this party, and they're all going to be on the same degree. But it's so close that it's already very, very strong. And what does this mean? It means let what needs to die, die. Find a way to be grateful and thankful for whatever it showed you. Find the silver lining and move forward. This is what that taught me. And I'm going to keep my good memories and I'm going to move forward with my life. That's what you got to do. Let stuff go. All right. Forgive, let go so that you can heal. You need to forgive so that you stop carrying the chains of bondage, which is Saturn. Right. You don't want to wish anybody to crash and burn because you're going to be the first person impacted. There's that Rumi quote. What is it? Well, one, I'm seeing a vision holding like a hot rock. I don't know why it's that one. It's like taking poison and hoping the other person is going to die. You don't want to do any of that stuff. Okay. Forgive to heal. It's for you. It's not for anybody that did you dirty. They've created their own karma. Disconnect. Karma will take care of them. And if you are a good person and you've been a good person and you've got your head out of your tush, then Saturn is going to reward you. Things that happen now, especially because we have Pluto in a fixed energy, and because currently all the planets are direct, things that you start now have tremendous staying power. That's exciting to me. So these are like planting seeds that are going to end up being ginormous trees that bring shelter to future generations. Faith, faith. What else can I say with faith? It is spirituality, sleep, dreams, prayers, meditation. So wonderful time for studying any of that kind of thing. The occult, the secrets, right? So, in the olden days with elite societies, serfs were not educated. Slaves were not allowed to know things. Well, this is another level of the abolition of slavery. So slavery in our modern times, a slave to our what? Saturn system. So while a lot of people are claiming such horrible things are happening with our economy and things that are being torn apart, like the IRS, why would you not want that to happen? Right? So kind of see through it for what it is. Do you really want to keep on giving away a third of your hard-earned income to politicians? To systems that you would never approve of if you knew what was going on? This is awesome because it's falling apart and you will have more choice about who gets your money. Meaning more disclosure, more transparency. That is what we need. Regardless on where you stand from a political standpoint, this is highly necessary stuff because the earth needs to evolve. And it cannot evolve with dictators, with people that want to own slaves or have ownership over people that are driven by a system, we are still in like modern day slavery. And that does still, actual slavery does exist, but this is another higher octave wave of light that is shining that light on on the suffering of the people because of the systems in place. It is a very exciting time. Yes, it's going to bring ugliness to the surface, but if it isn't brought to the surface, what happens? Nothing, right? So it has to be looked at to get people to realize the truth of what's been really going on. Why do we have so many missing children? Yeah, I can't add to that. And but you can feel into it. All right. This is a remarkable rebirthing only through endings. And that is a signature of what we are in right now. I'm very excited that everything's going direct. This is a perfect time to launch a business about what you love. Venus, what I love, Saturn, business. And this really speaks to any kind of spiritual arts, but also the arts in general, because Pisces is a very, very creative energy. Wonderful time. I do believe we are on the verge or entering like a renaissance of this age, a modern day renaissance, where our music probably will go back to the 432 center A instead of the 440. There will be more, there's a need for more harmony here on our planet, and it has to happen at a micro level, meaning with you. Harmony inside of your world, inside of your heart, inside of how you operate. Harmony there is going to create harmony on your outside world. It starts with you, right? Be the change that you want to see. So it is about, what are your favorite songs? And when you sing along, what are you affirming? Because words are spells. Okay. Now people are like, where do you think these words came from? Spelling. Okay. So, our language has been weaponized and demonized and all kinds of dumb, crazy stuff on purpose. All right. Nothing is a coincidence. Now, how do you want to ride this energy? By being creative. And you might say, I don't have a creative bone in my body. There's other ways to be creative, such as gardening, cooking. People don't think of that kind of thing. It isn't always picking up a paintbrush or markers or crayons or colored pencils. It's writing music. It's writing poetry, reading poetry, going to the theater. It's doing anything that gets you out of the logical right side of your body is the left brain. Okay, it's giving it a break. You've worked your ass off your whole life. It's kind of like creating a mini retirement for yourself in your life. Take a break. Take a vacation. You know what? I was in my marriage, that relationship, extremely, really bad, abusive. I was in it for 22 years. And the night that my ex was arrested on domestic violence charges, the kids and I slept for 2 weeks. All right. That is, and now just kind of put yourself in this kind of frame. For your whole life, you have been going like the Energizer Bunny. Go here, do this, pay the bill. You got to do this. Don't ask any questions. You got to feed the family. You got to all of this very rigid, get it done. Where's your heart? Where's your emotions? Where's that side of your living? Where's the creative stuff? Where can you relax? We haven't been able to, because ever since we got born, we're getting jabbed, we're getting stuff put in our eyes, we're getting our footprint as soon as you come out of the womb. Instead of being born underwater, being able to latch on to a mother's breast and have the bonding experience. What happened to that? They rip the kid out, fill him with stuff, separate him from the mother. It's the total opposite. Now you're assigned a social security number, and that now you are a commodity. You're a commodity. That's just it. So I believe the whole, now you know that the United States has been going through its Pluto return. So it's the rebirth of our country. This needed to happen. It has to happen. Call it a necessary evil if you like. It depends on how you see, how you perceive. You know, what a necessary evil at what cost? All right. My career before I got into what I do now has been white collar IT, administrative. I am an IT geek, all right? And I've been out of a job a lot because my IT companies got acquired by other ones, acquired by other ones, acquired by other ones, bought, sold, this, that. It was never due to, well, one time it was, but it was never due to my work ethic. It was due to acquisitions for the most of it. Or, well, still acquisitions, and the company closed because they went to another state and I couldn't relocate. Where am I going with that? My regular, oh yeah, one of those jobs was at the IRS, by the way. Horrible place to work. Horrible. There's no creative energy there. It's like there is no crying in baseball. Okay. So all of this necessary shit needed to end. I know I was talking about before I got into the spiritual stuff, IT stuff, acquisition. I totally lost my train of thought. But where we are in our current astrology is it's a new level of spiritual awakening, a new level of enlightenment, a new level to reevaluate, which is Venus, your faith, Pisces, and what kind of new seeds do you want to plant? Because Saturn also rules farms, farmers, hard work, the gardener. Now Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus is earth and growing things too, even horticulture, flowers, you know, and to be returning to a time that we are having food as medicine so that you don't get old and have medicine as your food. All right. This is big with pharmaceuticals, also ruled by Pisces, and the immune system, also ruled by Pisces. Huge year of transformation and disillusion, dissolving. Pisces says, I dissolve. So you got to let things dissolve so that you can have these wonderful new beginnings. Neptune at the 0 of Aries, that's your spiritual truth. How do I see life? My life path, my faith, my song. What song do you sing? Oh yeah, one other thing I'm circling back to are the songs that you sing out loud. You might want to revisit those because as you are singing those words, you're affirming something. Definitely some food for thought. You don't want to sing out loud things that, if you listen to those words, just consider that. Okay. Okay, I also wanted to look at Sunday's chart. Today, just be careful around sharp things because Mars rules that. Cancer is family and home. Be careful around the home. You don't accidentally nick yourself with a knife or a scissors. Don't go running with a pair of scissors like they teach you in kindergarten. And then the moon is in Sagittarius, so that's also a fiery energy. And we're still in Aries, which is a fiery energy. So the moon and the sun like each other today. They're friendly today. But just be mindful that you're paying attention so that you don't when we're not paying attention, that's how accidents happen. Okay. All right, let's move to, I can't ignore this. There's a lot of cardinal energy, and cardinal energy is initiatory, which is Aries all day long, but it's also Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. We're still in this initiatory energy, but now we're in the clear because with all the planets going direct, this is where you can move forward. Remember last week I was talking about the people that I know who put in a bid on the house when both planets, Mercury and Venus, were retrograde, and another bidder came in, and they missed out. Well, it did come back on the market, and they did put in their bid, and now they got it. So they are all moving forward, and I'm super happy for everybody. Um, we are closing out our Aries season and moving into Taurus season. April showers bring May flowers. I'm very excited about Taurus season, and I have a Taurus moon. So I want to now go to Sunday's chart, which, oh yeah, happens to be Easter. Now, I am not a religious person, but this is where I was going earlier with the Schumann Resonance and with all of the geomagnetic activity. All right. And then seeing that sphere that I was showing you, and see, I get so easily distracted. Oh, a squirrel, it's my fire energy. Is this egg that is hatching. The earth is getting ready to crack open and drop its outer shell and let its light rise and shine. It's just so exciting. So you can be experiencing this on a personal level too, because as above, so below, as within, so without, you live on this earth. Okay, you're an earth, third dimensional physical body is absolutely going to be impacted by what happens in the 3D, but you are not limited to that. You are multifaceted. Now, here's Sunday's chart. And Sunday, hooray! Mars has gotten out of that Cancer and is in its one of its best signs is Leo. So this is I turn the key and your energy starts and it's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. All planets are direct. Let's make some stuff happen. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited about that. All right. We still have Jupiter, fat man in a little coat. Big Jupiter is in tiny little Gemini. And so for Gemini people, there's been a lot of overwhelm. I think of a Los Angeles freeway, and we just need to be single file, like in a construction zone on a Los Angeles freeway. Bad, 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 bad. So that's been a lot of people's nervous system, even if you're not a Gemini. It's been a lot of people's nervous system, absolutely impacting the air signs, which are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Okay. Speaking of Aquarius, the moon will be in Aquarius. Oh, look at this. The moon is going to be conjuncting Pluto, which in and of itself is not a big deal because the moon goes around the wheel every month. But this time, it is still opposing Mars, but Mars has changed signs. And now this is more of it's an opposition by sign. So previously, when Mars was in Cancer just days earlier than this, today, it was an out of sign opposition, but it's so close because Pluto's only at 3. And so it only needs to be within a few degrees of that to feel it very, very strongly. This is luckily, at least on the East Coast, this is going to be nighttime, but I am getting intuitively emotional breakthrough. So I like it. It's not as scary as it might feel. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Breakthrough. Emotional moon breakthrough because it's with Venus opposite Mars. These are epiphanies, aha moments. Very, very exciting. And now we are on this day, we're in Taurus season. Okay, so we're at 1 degree of Taurus on Sunday. Actually, it was 0 earlier. It changed in the evening to 1 degree. So by Sunday night, 4:20, we are fully in Taurus season. And that's also going to be the ripples of these huge geomagnetic solar storms hitting the Earth. And when that happens, Earth changes happen. All right? Earthquakes, volcanoes, fires. Now, because we've got Pluto and Aquarius engaged, that's earthquakes, seismic activity. But it's also God of the skies. So I would avoid flights, like airplane flights, on Sunday, if possible. And what else is going on? So Venus hasn't moved. Venus is 25, Saturn's 26, North Node's 26, and the nodes always go backwards. And the nodes have been on 27 for a long ass time, like a month. So that has moved a degree. Earth and water like each other. On this day, we've got the planet Uranus at 25 Taurus, speaking well in a nice conversation with all of this Pisces energy. All right, this is getting cray-cray now because Uranus is the ruling planet over Aquarius, which is getting sparked by Mars in a sign it likes, fire, Leo. All right, so this is going to do something for the Leo Aquarius people, but also for the Leo Aquarius axis in your chart. So you want to find where that is. Where is Leo and Aquarius in your chart? That might be an eruption. It doesn't necessarily need to be a bad one, but it is definitely being assisted by the planet Uranus in Taurus, which it does not like to be in, because think about lightning and it's contained in a rock, because Taurus is Earth. It's not comfortable. Now, fortunately, that's going to break in July. So we are heading into some really crazy times. I kind of want to say I would assure you. Tools to communicate across the universe are already there. It's a matter of letting it get revealed or divulged. This also is telling me less people are going to be shadow banned, especially ones that are channeling higher intelligence, because that's ruled by Uranus. Huh? Okay. And then, which is lit up during these times. So the fact that this is called a sextile. It's a good aspect because earth and water, they make mud. They go together. Water waters the earth so the seeds can grow. We like this a whole bunch. And the sun is in Taurus as well. So the sun is our vitality, and it's given us some permission to slow the heck down. Taurus is slow. I want to eat this slowly and enjoy and savor every single bite of my dessert. Taurus has a sweet tooth and is a foodie as well. Okay. But this is going to be a day to be watching for. Notice what happens on Sunday. This is a very potent day, I would say, because Uranus is involved, Aquarius, it's the sign that it rules, is involved, Pluto's involved, and its opposite, Mars, back in the saddle in Leo. And then it is speaking to the North Node, what the collective needs for healing. Wow, it would be crazy if something happened to the building of the Vatican this day. The fall. I know I've mentioned it before, but I know. I've remotely seen it before. I know there is some I don't even want to talk about it. Vile, let's say, beneath that area. Because when I see it, like I kind of feel part of it, and I don't want to go there because it's very stuff that it makes you squeamish. It's bad. But big changes are happening in religion, faith, spirituality, disclosure, transparency, power, beginning at the beginning of for the people by the people. You ain't seen nothing yet. Your soul chose to be here. Very exciting time to be alive. And this time too, usually people dread when the South Node is going through their sign. I really feel badly for Libras, Sun, Moon, or Rising, because with the South Node in Libra, it brought poor Libra to their knees, or even deeper. It was very, very painful for a lot of Libras. But this time, it's in the sign of Virgo, and I actually don't feel that it's as deep and dark as it was for the Libra people. But it is going to be detoxing in your life, the area of life that Virgo is in. And I'm getting skin and skin conditions, allergies, sensitivities, food sensitivities, latex for some reason showing up. So more truth about what's in our food, certain gums that are in our food. So, gum, the only one that comes to my awareness is something that starts with an X. There's another one that starts with a C. These are things, food additives. So more of that stuff coming to the surface, and people's allergies to even particular medications and things that aren't being administered. So all of this stuff, that is really going to be a topic of the whole next year and change. And then I'll close on the note that in summer, well, I don't know if I'm going to finish, but in June, Jupiter moves into Cancer. So you want to look ahead at where is Cancer in your chart? Because what Jupiter expands whatever it touches, like a magnifying glass. It can intensify it. It makes it bigger. All right. Being in the sign of Cancer, maybe your family's going to expand, and maybe you find out someone's going to be expecting, or maybe you move to a bigger house. It depends on where Cancer is in your chart. And I do have a free chart generator on my website. It's suzy-woo.com. And I do have an email list. I'd love you to join my email list. I am starting to blast out with events, giving you what you want. So I have several retreats coming up. Go to my website, because I don't know when you're watching this, and look at the event calendar and hop on. Because one of my most favorite things to do is to take my candle and light your candle. I don't lose my light, but now we've lit up a whole neighborhood, a whole village, city, state, country, world, right? Without losing our own light. And that's what rocks my world, is seeing the light turn on in you when you realize how amazing that you truly are, and how you were not put here to suffer, contrary to the way that we've been raised and governed to train us into that slave mentality. No. I'm here to set you free. I'm here to give you the keys back to your own self. I'm going to tell you how to live your life, but I'm going to help you to open up to receive the answers that are in there, and others have overshadowed it within you. And then in July, when Uranus changes signs, you want to look at the area of your life. Right now, Jupiter's going through it. That Gemini is, because Uranus moving into there, that's going to be an explosion of technology. And this is higher mind and telepathy. Now, this is going to be huge discoveries around the autistic community, because I'll tell you, there is nothing wrong with people that are considered or labeled, oh, I hate labels, as autistic, because they are the genius, brilliant generation of tomorrow. And the communication is conceptual versus linear. And that is why our schools are failing our children as well. And so this is also very exciting on so many levels, but it's going to give evidence about other life forms, about our genome, about genetic modification at the cellular level about what we call alien races and the good ones, the ones that are actually trying to help us. I'm actually getting lit up. I'm getting a channeling coming in. I guess let's let that come through. You never know what's going to happen when I do these things. All right, so okay, Easter. So the Christians are going to look at Easter as the rise. So I think this is when he goes into the tomb and he's supposed to be dead, and all of a sudden he comes back to life, and that's reincarnation. Yet the Catholic Church has poo-pooed reincarnation. That was redacted out of the original scriptures. So this is now going to revive that because the Catholic Church talks about very, very badly against. They demonize mediums, people that talk to dead people, right? That's what mediumship is, after all. But Jesus was a real dude, right? He was a physical expression of God. And because he was trying to get people to wake up, he was a teacher and a healer. He taught people to walk on water. And because of the rulership felt threatened, they had him murdered. But he rose. And how have they made you have Catholic guilt was the first thing you see when you walk into a church. Dead guy on a cross, suffering. So we're all led to that. Oh, I'm supposed to suffer. I'm supposed to feel bad. I got to feel guilty because he died for me. All right. Don't plug into that. You want to look at that in a different light. All right. Where are you abandoning yourself? Where are people controlling you, making you feel guilty and shameful about wanting to do things for yourself that will make you a brighter person, which is the light? It is in the Bible. Jesus said, thine single eye, that's your third eye, be filled with light. And even the whole thing about pine cones. There's so many references, it's not even funny. Why are there pine cones in front of the Vatican? It has to do with the pineal gland, which is spelled pine, P-I-N-E. And that is your intuitive antenna. That's how you connect. That's how you think of somebody, and they're in the middle of getting ready to call you. All right. And then the Saturnian societies, that's why they put chemicals in our drinking water, because it calcifies that. And the little polywog can't move as much, and it kind of clouds your reception. Oh, let's layer pharmaceuticals on it because now it won't move at all. And it keeps us numb and dumb, cloudy and easy to control. And when you have people in fear, they're way easy to control. And so you walk in, I'm going to worship, I'm going to obey, because I'm in fear that I'll burn in hell for the rest of my life. All right? What kind of a good God would ever do that? None. Okay? You have God in you. No matter what your faith is, there's a creator. Okay? Something made all of this stuff. Something made the trees and the puppies, and something gave life force energy. All right? That dwells in you, whatever you label it as. In the Catholic faith, it is the Holy Spirit, but it's not separate. It's not separate. It lives in you. And that's where we go. Like if I'm doing an energy healing, we go there, and that's how healings happen. I bring you with me up into the ethers, into this kind of bandwidth on the radio dial. It's Christ consciousness. And that's where you get rid of your lumps and bumps and tumors and problems and depression and anxiety. What happens is I bring you with me and you surrender it. You're like, God, take this away. And God's like, all right. All you need to do is bring me what you want. Send me the order. And Creator delivers. Order up. I'll take it away from you. But we've been trained. I've got to carry my cross, my burdens, my problems. I brought this on because Christ died for me. Stop. No. Please. So isn't it fascinating that we're getting all kinds of shaken up with the Schumann resonance, with these solar flares, with the coronal mass ejections? Relighting the light within us is going to give us the gift of sight, our telepathy, our extra senses. I got the word robust. And then when we move into Taurus energy in a couple of days, Taurus energy rules the five senses. But with Uranus getting ready to move into a Gemini, that's going to jumpstart super high voltage our extra senses. So all of these things are happening in layers, gradual layers and layers stacking on. And it's like old, new. Ah. And that's why you want to pay attention to your dreams, sleep, dreams, prayers, meditation. What is God trying to take away? Don't clutch onto that. Say, okay, thanks, have it. Because I'm ready for some good stuff. I'm ready to graduate. I'm ready to level up. I want to try some other things. I don't want to just stay on one roller coaster forever. I might want to go play in the fun house. I might want to play that shooting water in the clown's mouth and the balloon goes up. I'm good at that. Okay, guys. So that's it for this week. Join me every week. I might be doing these live on YouTube going forward. I'm not sure, but please join my email list. I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this with a friend. It's free every week. Free astrology hour every single week because I love you and I want you to learn astrology. I want you to understand that astrology lives within you. All of the planets represent particular energies. And when you were born, it was a snapshot of where all of the planets were and what constellations they were going through, and the flavors of those all makes your recipe card. That's what you're made of. And that you can read that. And reading that helps you understand who you are, who you came here to be. Are you living your purpose? What's in your way? And then timing. So using astrology, we can time events. We know when things are going to happen. There's so much evidence. It's so fun, and I like to teach that. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a great big hug. Thank you so much. I hope you subscribe. Share me with a friend. I'm here for you, Suzy Woo, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.